town, a classic fairy tale village in the middle of the forest.
Ooh, lovely. But don't forget the snow-capped mountains in the background.
A place where legends come alive.
Oh, and could we have some quaint thatched cottages here?
And characters from the past live and breathe in the present.
What do you think? Maybe a pump and water trough? Yes, a pump and water trough.
A world where animals can talk, unfortunately.
And possibly a marketplace, and a car bench under the shade of an apple tree opposite a sweet shop window, full of glass jars filled with strawberry creams and lemon drops.
And all disbelief is suspended.
That's true. Tesco's has a pizza meal deal for £6.
A pizza meal deal for £6. Come on, guys.
Move along there now. No loitering.
Pizza for lunch, great idea because I forgot my nose bag. I get the meal deal now before there's a big queue. Can I get you anything?
I'll just have the pan with coleslaw and some corn crackers, thanks.
Hold your horses. It's not lunchtime yet. We've appointed some my children first.
Okay, I'll shut off later.
Those herbivores, all they can think about is their lunch. I thought we were supposed to be the hungry ones.
Where's the ruin the appetite?
Hey, you namby-pamby herbivores, why not have a bit of meat on your pizza? Bare-faced cheek.
Yeah, but the new flavours just come on. Don't Lauren.
Quack, quack, down, down, quack, quack. No shouting or growling.
Good morning! This is Wilderness News with Sparrow Hawkins and Bramble Thicket. We are outside the Fabletown courtrooms as the long-awaited case against Mr. Wolf is about to start.
Tensions are running high here as protesters for both the prosecution and defense make their voices heard.
Indeed, Mr. Wolf arrived at the courthouse earlier, and for his own safety, he had a police escort.
Actually, it's a Range Rover, not an escort.
It doesn't matter. In this specially extended program, we'll be bringing the news live from inside the courthouse.
This case has attracted a lot of attention and the public gallery is packed. Not only because there are strong opinions on both sides, but also because the famous judge, Lord Feather of Ireland, will be overseeing the case.
Yes, despite his name, Lord Feather is no lightweight, and certainly not a softie. He has a reputation for being stern. I understand he's entering the courtroom and the case against Mr. Wolf is about to begin.
All right! To the
The Forest Court is now in session to hear a case against Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf, please take the stand. Mr. Wolf, you are here today to answer to the following charges. Number 1, you are accused of plotting to deceive and misread Riding Hood. Number 2, assuming a false identity as Miss Hood's grandma.
Poor old lady!
Number 3, willful damage and illegal entry into the properties of the 3 little pigs.
Disgraceful!
And most horrible of all, you sought to terrorise and murder at will within our forest community.
Send him down! Shall I finish? Hashtag send him down.
Feather Brain, this is no time to joke.
I have no time to joke.
If you are quite finished,
Sorry.
Mr. Wolf, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Mr. Wolf, who will be representing you in this matter?
I shall be conducting my own defense with the assistance of my co-counsel, Mrs. Wolf.
So be it. And the counsel for the prosecution?
Your Honor, my name is Hugh Mann, and this is my assistant, just in case. Yeah, we've got the case in the bag.
Thank you. Please proceed with the case for the prosecution.
Members of the jury, you see before you the most despicable of killers, a clever creature of the most predatory nature who intimidates and kills without scruple. It has been very difficult to actually catch this rogue. Until today, we have sufficient evidence to prove to you all that this animal, this wolf, is a serial killer!
Thank you, Mr. Mann. And what's the nature of this evidence?
My lord, for many months we have had Mr. Wolf under close surveillance. We have hired a forest secret agent, a mole, an English mole, Mr. Johnny Mole!
A secret agent? Calling Mr. Mole.
Calling Miss Mole, secret agent.
Calling Mr. Mole what?
Calling Mr. Mole. Well, he's not very secret now.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth according to the forest law?
I do. Mr. Mole, perhaps you might like to tell the court about the evidence you've collected.
Well, I've been digging around and unearthed a lot of information. It's what we moles do.
Traveled the world, was in disguise, alive on the ground, the life of spies.
Mr. Moore.
I might be.
Well, what an exciting life you lead as an undercover agent. You haven't, however, told us of the nature of your evidence against me. For all your networking, code breaking, clue making, did you actually find anything out?
I am bound by the Official Secrets Act. I report only to M.
M? This is ridiculous. I believe you have no evidence at all. How can a creature well known for having bad eyesight be a reliable witness? Those shades are not disguised. You're as blind as a bat. You're just making a mountain out of a molehill.
Objection, Your Honor! Mr. Wolf is being lawless!
Sustained! Mr. Wolf, kindly refrain from making jokes at Mr. Moore's expense.
Mr. Mole, perhaps you might like to tell the court about the evidence from our clandestine meetings to me in front of the whole court, since I did in fact employ Mole, and am of course M. M for man.
I might have known.
Well, I have installed secret cameras throughout the forest to record evidence against Mr. Wolf. Ah, here the other bugs. Last Tuesday, a Wolfie fisted description of the accused was seen to be giving a gingerbread man a ride across the river, and we all know what to the poor gingerbread man.
Yeah, Foxy!
What? And these informers tell me that even the local bears are having problems with their breakfast.
Ooh, really?
Oh yes, they keep having their morning porridge stolen. 3 more a day. They are convinced that some little golden-haired girl was around, of course. No little girl could eat that much. No, the culprit has got to be a large hairy creature with a ravenous appetite.
Your Honor, may I reply to these accusations?
You may.
Well, firstly, the so-called wolf taking the gingerbread man across the river was actually a fox. Everyone knows that story. And secondly, I don't like porridge. I would like to, however, know more of these so-called agents that Mo used to collect this so-called evidence.
I agree. Agents, please introduce yourselves.
The name is Bond, Brooke Bond.
The name's Bond, Premium Bond.
The name's Bond, Basildon Bond, and I have the CCTV recording with all the evidence.
Attention, attention. This recording will self-destruct in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
A little shaken and stirred, Mr. Mo.
Please note that no animals are harmed in reproduction of the scene.
Well, Mr. Man, it seems that your evidence went up in smoke.
Yes, my lord.
Well, I hope your next witness is more convincing and less dangerous.
Yes, my lord. I wish to call Red Riding Hood.
Calling Red Riding Hood!
Calling Red Riding Hood! You in the hoodie, come on, let me up!
I've got the new iPhone X! Just kidding!
Very funny. I thought this was going to be so boring. But look at all these people. It's going to be like the X Factor.
Miss Hood!
Hey, let's take a stab at the judge who's supposed to be famous.
Miss Hood! Please remember you are in a court of law. Have some respect, please.
Whatever.
Remove that phone from Miss Hood!
And the headphones.
That wouldn't have happened on the X Factor.
Miss Hood, please tell the call happened on the day you traveled through the woods to visit your grandma.
hit it.
Are you ready for this?
To the flow.
My mother said I never should stray from the footpath in the wood. And for a time I was very good, the perfect little Riding Hood. After a while she had a rest down in the grass of a cool green lane. I saw a shadow hanging over me, and the voice said, "Good morning,
didn't look like Granny should. Her nose was huge and her ears had grown. And she had built some muscle tone. She said, "How very nice to see you, dear." And her voice was insincere. The situation was kinda quite clear. I said, "Granny, I'm getting out of here." Basket and redwood, make sure that you're good. Don't talk to strangers, particularly fools. Don't listen to lies, it's not very wise. Just keep to the path, go straight through the woods. Basket and redwood, make sure that you're good. Don't talk to strangers, particularly fools. Don't listen to lies, it's not very wise. Just keep to the path, go straight through the woods. Later, I was gonna get my phone back.
So Miss Hood, you like your phone?
Yes, don't go in without it. Need to stay in touch with the girls.
Miss Hood, why did you wander off the path if you had so far to go?
I've told the court why because you led me off the path to pick some flowers.
Ah, but Miss Hood, we both know that's not true.
It is true. Why else would I leave the path?
Were you texting on your way to Grandma's?
Yes, it was a long walk.
I played to you, Miss Hood, that you didn't wander off the path because you were led by me, but you're too preoccupied with your phone to watch where you were going. You simply got lost. You are just a naughty girl who tells lies.
Oh, am I?
Miss Hood, I would like to turn your attention to Grandma's cottage. Bring on Exhibit A.
Exhibit A!
Miss Hood, could you identify this garment for me? Please take your time. You must be sure.
Yes, my grandma's 90.
Are you quite sure?
Of course I am. Do you think I'm stupid?
Then, Miss Hood, could you explain to the jury how I could have possibly have fitted into this?
Objection, Your Honour. Mr. Hawke is tricking Miss Hood. He has deliberately shrunk that garment.
Overruled, Mr. Case. This garment's from Marks and Spencer's. No chance of shrinking.
Miss Hood, it's no use continuing this fairy story. You have a good imagination, I'll give you that. But there was no one at Grandma's cottage when you got there. Was there?
Miss Hood, please answer the question.
Can't remember it.
Then I'll ask again. Was there anyone at Grandma's cottage?
No, she just disappeared because he'd eaten her.
Silence in court! Silence in court!
Your Honour, I think we can shed some light on the matter.
Continue, Mr. Case.
I have just been informed that we have finally found Miss Hood's poor, defenceless, traumatized granny, and she is well enough to speak to us in court.
Very well then, ask her to take the stand. Calling Grandma! I think you'll have to shout louder than that. Perhaps I should go and help her into the courtroom.
I don't think so. Here she comes.
Oh, is there some mistake? I called for Granny Hood.
That's me.
Right. Miss Hood tells us you were expecting a visit from her last Wednesday.
I was.
I believe you were very sick in bed, alone in the forest, waiting for your granddaughter to bring the basket of food.
Well, not exactly. My granddaughter was in fact returning something she had borrowed from me.
Indeed, what would that be?
My iPhone.
Oh. Miss Hood tells us you are not at home when she arrived at your cottage. Had you been driven screaming from your sick bed by a ravenous wolf howling at your door?
Thankfully not. I was not in bed because I had gone out to take my karate masterclass lesson, which I do every Wednesday afternoon because I'm a martial arts coach. My granddaughter didn't turn up, so I had to leave.
Does Miss Hood know about your job?
Of course she does. She's just trying to keep my phone as long as possible. She had broken hers, and I foolishly said she could borrow my old one for a little while,
and I need it back now, and she has had it over for 2 months, the little madam. I'm having a real problem getting it back from her.
No further questions.
Thank you, Granny Hood. You're excused.
Oh, is that my iPhone? At last.
Your Honor, I would like to call my final witnesses to give evidence.
Go ahead, Mr. Man. Calling the 3 little pigs. Calling the 3 pickled kids. Calling the 3 tickled wigs. Calling the 3 pickled figs. Mr. Man, is this in respect of the 3 counts of willful damage and illegal entry to the properties of the 3 little pigs?
Yes, my lord.
Mr. Man, how many pigs did you say?
Oh yes, it's the 3 little pigs. Little pigs, can you tell the court what Mr. Wolf said to you and how frightening he was?
This little house is just a haystack. This little house a bunch of sticks. But this one's more substantial, made of good red London bricks. But if you think they'll save your bacon, you are very much mistaken. I'm gonna blow your little house down. My lungs are quite an asset. I've never known them to fail. From a dental breach to a hurricane, I can conquer before scale. So get ready for eviction and prepare for demolition. I'm gonna blow your little house down. Little pig, let me in. Now talk and compromise. I'll leave greenhouses standing for a trio of hives. Little pig, let me in. And here's the reason why. The only way to escape your fate is in 3 little piggies' lives. This little house is just a haystack. This little house a bunch of sticks. But this one's more substantial, made of good red London bricks. But if you think they'll save your bacon, you are very much mistaken. I'm gonna blow. I'm gonna blow. I'm gonna blow your little house down. Yeah!
What a very interesting song. Gentlemen, are you quite sure that is what Mr. Wolf said to you?
Yes.
A trio of pot pies indeed.
You can say what you like. We're out to save our bacon. Yes, my family can't sleep at night. Every time the wind blows, they think it's the wolf.
Are you sure it was the wolf who blew your house down?
Oh yes, we saw him. We saw Mr. Wolf huff and puff.
Yes, we've done all that. The jury will be getting bored. Let's instead consider the houses in question. I'm sure what the jury would really like to know is 1. Had your houses have foundation? 2. Had your houses pass building regulation? And most importantly, 3. Did you have planning permission?
Where did that come from?
No squeak or a squeal. So, you told the court how worried you were about your families, but you've exposed them to great risk by living in dangerous properties.
Nonsense. Our homes are quite safe.
Excuse me, but didn't you say Mr. Wolf blew your house down? Is that a safe house? So, little pigs, you have all obviously met Mr. Wolf before because you have accused him of blowing your houses down.
No.
Only in nightmares.
All wolves look the same to me.
How strange. A moment ago you were sure you knew him. I think you might be telling a few porcupines.
How rude!
Objection, Your Honour.
I know.
Sustained.
So, you don't remember your meeting with the First Planning Authority about the proposed erection within a green belt glade?
No. May I interject here?
Please do. The pigs seem to be changing their story, and we're getting nowhere.
Mr. Wolf, do you deny that you destroyed the dwellings of the 3 little pigs?
I do not deny it.
He doesn't deny it.
He doesn't deny it.
I just said that! I can't believe he admitted it.
I would have kept quiet about that. They can't prove anything. Silence! Silence in court!
He does not deny it.
Indeed, he does not deny it, but he was working under the First Planning Authority to remove 3 illegal dwellings from a green belt glade. Please observe Exhibit B.
Exhibit B.
The pigs did not have planned permission, and that huff and puff story is just a devious plot to discredit Mr. Wolf's reputation.
Outrageous! Anyone can afford Exhibit B. I demand to see some evidence.
That can be arranged. I would like to call the Forest Planning Inspector.
Calling Inspector Green. Not the Forest Planning Inspector. Yikes!
Got in trouble last year for burying his nuts in Fabletown Park.
Ah.
If you don't mind. Yes, thank you. The inspector is here.
Morning, we've got new glasses.
Inspector Green, can you tell the court how Mr. Wolf came to be working under the Forest Planning Authority?
Yes, Mr. Wolf patrols the remote areas of the forests and mountains. He works as a scout and reports any problems he finds.
I see. And how did he come to destroy the dwellings of these 3 little pigs?
He discovered that the pigs had dared to build their houses without permission in an area of outstanding natural beauty. You are the admission of it, Mr. Wolf arranged it.
Inspector Green, could you tell the court how Mr. Wolf huffed and puffed and blew the houses down of the 3 little pigs, frightening them in the most intimidating way?
Actually, it was the pigs who caused trouble. They refused to sell their piglets to safety before demolition. They had to call the forest police as the situation became nasty.
Thank you, Inspector. You have been very helpful. I think we need to call the forest police for further information.
Calling. Oh, I think they're on their way.
Honest, Sarge, the trees just jumped out at me.
Gentlemen, state your names for the record, please.
Sergeant Trunk and Constable Twig of the Forest Police.
Thank you. Which division?
Special Branch.
And your dog?
He's my Harrington sniffer dog. He can beg, roll over, and give a paw. He's obedient to my every command.
Really? What's his name?
Bob,
Woof woof!
No, I asked you what your dog's name was.
Bob,
Woof woof!
Constable Twig, please stop showing off. We can see your dog is very obedient, but what is his name?
Bob.
Woof woof!
His name is Bob.
Woof woof!
What else would you call a police dog working for Special Branch? Say it, Bob.
Woof woof!
Sergeant Trunk, can you explain to the court what you arrived when you came at the scene of disturbance?
Well, the area was a right mess. You can see it was a pigsty. The pigs refused to talk to Mr. Wolf and were throwing things at him.
I imagine this was a perfectly natural reaction to be threatened by a wolf.
Oh no, sir. Mr. Wolf kept out of the way as he had been hit in the face several times with buckets of pig's will.
Yes, and he didn't half-live.
So, how were the houses eventually removed?
Well, it was a funny thing, really. It was stormy that day, it was really windy, and the shrouds really did blow down.
Oh, really?
Yes, really, and the house of sticks was riddled with woodworm. We eventually persuaded the pigs to talk, and we opened the door, and it's disintegrated.
This is also very convenient, and I suppose the house of bridge just happened to be demolished by a squadron of mercenary bees.
Now that would be silly.
Well, surprise me.
We bulldozed it.
Thank you, officers. I think you have the explanation we need. Mr. Mann, if that's the end of the evidence for the prosecution, would you please like to make a closing statement before recess for lunch? It seems some of us are feeling hungry.
Members of the jury, yes, my lord. Members of the jury, you have all seen for yourself an example of this wolf's cleverness and cunning. Or you may say that he is skillfully defending himself against all these stories and accusations. But I say, isn't it a bit too clever? Does he do nothing wrong? I don't think so. Many creatures are still afraid of him because he is a carnivore, a predator, and a threat to us all!
I get fed up with porridge. Nice to have a picnic.
Hope you brought the honey.
Yep, nothing like a bit of honey. Have you tried marmalade sandwiches?
Bleh, they're horrible. I don't know what Paddington sees in them.
Got the pizza meal with extra pony nuts, the wheat coleslaw and some corn crackers.
Thanks.
What are you wearing?
What's this? Oh, they had a promotion on for a new type of cheese on pizza. So instead of mozzarella, I had mascarpone. Get it? Mascarpone.
Gingerbread man, anybody?
Don't mind.
While so far Mr. Matt's evidence seemed more witless than witness, Johnny Moore's evidence went up in smoke, and charges 1 and 2 relating to Red Riding Hood and Grandma were nonsense.
That Red Riding Hood, what is she like?
Bramble, I shouldn't need to remind you that Wilderness News has a reputation for honest and biased reporting.
But I was being honest, that's exactly what I thought about her. Anyways, you called the prosecutor witless.
I was just trying to make a clever pun on the word witness. Anyways, it seems the first 3 charges against Mr. Wolf have been thrown out, so now there's the only 4th charge to answer. I quote, "You sought to terrorise and murder at will within our forest community." That's going to be a hard one to defend.
Yes, I wonder what the jury will think. Difficult to say, they are a funny looking lot.
Well, let's hope that none of them are listening to our broadcast on their phone.
Madam, please don't feed him. Sir, I'd rather you didn't. He's a highly trained sniffer dog on a carefully controlled paleo diet.
I apologise for that interruption. Anything with live broadcasting can happen.
Yes, that fluffy microphone scene will be on YouTube by tonight.
I understand the recess is over. Mr. Wolf is about to begin his defence, so we'll go straight back to the courtroom.
Your Honour, I'd like to respond to the accusation that I'm a carnivore and a predator.
Go ahead.
I'm a carnivore and a predator because I am a wolf. I am part of a natural process like everyone else here. We are all part of a food chain, and it just so happens that I'm at the top of the food chain. The prosecution don't seem to like this, and are getting their briefs in a bit of a tangle. They need to chill out and lighten up a bit.
Top of the food chain is the personality. Top of the food chain is the place I wanna be. Down in the forest I am eco-VIP, 'cause I eat everyone and no one eats me. Top of the food chain, I've got authority. When I turn up well, the other creatures flee. No use complaining. our producers, they start our little scene. We need these guys to synthesize and make our forest green. Then once the whole thing started, the insects munch on leaves. Then the birds are looking to see what's cooking with the restaurant in the trees. Consumers, they are eaters, but do you know who's who? There's carnivores and herbivores, it depends on who you choose. And last I'm not forgetting, predator and prey. The difference is one chases, the other runs away. Top of the food chain is the personality. Top of the food chain is the place I wanna be. Down in the forest I am eco VIP. Cause I eat everyone and no one eats me. Key change! Top of the food chain I got authority. When I turn up well the other creatures flee. No use complaining, Mother Nature, she chose me. So I eat everyone. He eats everyone. I eat everyone and no one eats me.
Mr. Wolf, thank you. You may be there with the bugs, but you have just made our case very easy. You have actually admitted that you eat everyone and you're proud of it.
You obviously weren't listening, Mr. K. You have missed the point. Nature has given me permission. I'm acting on highest authority. Don't you know how a food chain works?
As I said, convicted by your own son, Mr. Case, rests his case. It seems that the prosecution is incapable of understanding from animals, my lord. Perhaps they will listen to their own kind, humans. Your Honour, I would like to call the naturalist. Calling the naturalist! Calling the naturalist! Calling the naturalist! Calling the naturalist! I don't believe it! We got it right! We got it right! No mistakes! Woohoo! Good afternoon, naturalist. Before we get your expert opinions, please give the court an account of your qualification and experience.
We're naturally the naturalists, zoologists and activists, ecologists and botanists confused. We study insectology, elliptology, ethology. We're clever cause we know what they go to. We know the feeding habits of the lesser spotted bats, how long it takes a crocodile to grow. You ask a metamorphosis, we answer yes, of course it is. The fascinating subject, don't you know? We're naturally the naturalists, zoologists and activists, ecologists and botanists confused. We study insectology, elliptology, ethology. We're clever cause we know what things go to. We waded through the Amazon and wallowed in the swamps, and found some hidden species in Peru. In Africa it was quite clear we had to visit Tanzania and follow the migration of canoe. So we're making no apology for studying theology. It's a job that someone has to do.
That's true, gentlemen. There's no doubt about his scientific learning and experience. Proceed, Mrs. Wolf.
Gentlemen, perhaps you could tell the court how the wolf is endangered.
Yes, indeed. Canis lupus.
Canis lupus? Could you please explain for the benefit of the jury?
Canis lupus, the grey wolf, of which, Madame, might I say, you are a particularly fine specimen.
Excuse me, I don't appreciate being called a specimen. Do you think I live in a zoo? How dare you? You'll be putting me in a jar next.
Dear me, no offence meant.
Mrs. Wolf,
Perhaps you're not familiar with trial procedure. You are attacking your own defense witness. Members of the jury, here is a perfect example of how aggressive and quick to anger the wolf is, how dangerous and unpredictable they can be.
Mr. Case, please sit down. Perhaps you can continue with the evidence.
Right. The grey wolf is endangered because of man. He may be top of the food chain, but he has been driven out of his natural habitat into the wilderness, where he has to live in extreme conditions. In some regions of the world, he has been completely exterminated.
Not true. You see him in the forest, not in the wilderness, and certainly not exterminated.
Ah, yes, but that is because he is only one of a few of his kind left. He has survived only because he is resourceful, able to adapt and living in different, much harsher environments. He hunts prey large and small, whatever he can survive on.
Members of the jury, you heard it for yourselves. He hunts prey large and small, whatever he can survive on.
Yup, both have to eat. As long as he doesn't have a taste for a badger, I'm fine with that.
Silence! Silence in court! Please continue.
It is important to know that many populations of grey wolves are classified as a vulnerable and, in some parts of the world, an endangered species.
I'd say dangerous, not endangered. Mrs. Wolf has just shown us her true colours.
I beg to defer, Your Honour. Mrs. Wolf was only angry because she's stressed and persecuted. Wolves are very family-orientated creatures. In their packs, they share tasks, care for their youngs, and even bring food to the very oldest that are unable to walk. She's clearly very anxious about her family.
Yes, wolves are quite misunderstood. To illustrate our point, I think we need to ask the wolf family themselves.
I think you'd better leave this one to me. We need to be very careful. A pack of hungry wolves on the stand. Calling the wolf family!
Are those please?
Wolf family, the naturalists have suggested that you explain your feelings to the court. Mountains looming, hunger ruling, lonely, freezing, here are pleading, a shadow on the moon. We have an eerie tune. What's in a name that takes such blame? We're just misunderstood. Lands deserted, feared and hated, evil painted, lives are wasted, a shadow on the moon. We have an eerie tune. What's in a name that takes such blame? We're just misunderstood.
A villain of the fairy tale, the wicked beast of folklore. Yellow-eyed and ravaging, red in tooth and claw. Prowling in the darkness, haunting every lonely place. That's a wolf of fiction. It's not me.
A shadow on the moon. We have an eerie tune. What's in a name that takes such blame? We're just misunderstood. We're just misunderstood.
As you can see, wolves have young cubs to support, and because all other wolf packs have died out, they are now the only wolf family left in our wilderness.
Oh, very good, Mr. Wolf. Is your fun for sympathy, Wolf? The emotional touch, but it doesn't take away the fact that you're a predator and a killer.
Your Honor, I'd like to call my final witness.
Go ahead.
Mr. Man, could you please take the witness stand?
What? Golly, Mr. Human! Mr. Human!
Yes, I heard you. I'm already here. Your Honor, I must protest. How can I be a witness in Mr. Wolf's defense? This is preposterous! Are there any precedents for this?
One moment. Yes, I think you have several precedents. Please inform the court room.
Past court cases where the number of the prosecutor has been brought to the witness stand. Number 1, Puss in Boots versus the Alvin the Shoemaker over the purchase of leather riding boots. Number 2, Princess Rapunzel versus the Tower Witch for wrongful imprisonment. And number 3, the case brought by the Billy Goat Scuffed against the 40-year-old troll for obstruction of highways and inflated toll charges.
There you are, Mr. Man. You have the precedents. You may proceed, Mr.
You're Mr. Man, I don't need to remind you that you are under oath.
Of course not. I'm a man of the law.
Then, Mr. Man, could you please tell the court what you had for breakfast this morning?
Objection, Your Honor. What's this got to do with this trial?
Please answer the question, Mr. Man.
I had a bowl of muesli, then a fry-up.
A fry-up? I'm sorry, I'm only a wolf, an animal. Could you please describe to me exactly what a fry-up is?
Well, tomatoes, mushrooms, eggs, and...
I'm sorry, Mr. Man. Could you please speak up? I didn't quite get those last 2 items.
Breaking sausages!
Please speak up. I can't hear you.
Breaking sausages!
Well, who are you calling a carnivore? Do the 3 little pigs know of your eating habits?
I'm not a carnivore. I'm an omnivore.
Oh yes, what does that mean?
It means I have a mixed diet.
But you must admit that you eat meat. Mr. Man, please answer the question.
Yes.
So, what else do you enjoy? A bit of rabbit? Venison? Don't look so ashamed. I'm sure other members of the court enjoy the occasional mouse or squirrel. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Perhaps you and Mrs. Wolf would like to summarize the case for defense.
Members of the jury, the point we are making is that all living creatures have to eat. The energy from the sun feeds us all by traveling through the food chains. We all have a right of that share either by eating vegetation or by eating meat. So why should wolves be persecuted of eating just because they're at the top of the food chain?
Yes, many other creatures, including humans, eat meat, but they are not feared and hated as wolves are. How is a wolf any different to a snail munching a leaf or a ladybird eating a green fly? We are all part of natural process.
Wolves have suffered for too long in the hands of man because man is more threatened than wolves than any other predator. It is man who is strong at the top of the food chains, not wolves. Humankind needs to know that we all have parts to play in nature and, of course, in the rhythm of life.
It's in the sound of the forest, in the rustle of the leaves, the creak of an insect, and the scattering of seeds. It's in the swoop of a swallow, and the lead of the sun. you're feeding yourself and your family. In short, you're living as nature intended. Therefore, I believe there's no crime to answer for. You are hereby sentenced to spend the rest of your life with your family roaming free in the forest and the mountains.
Wow, what a sensational trial.
Yes, it was very difficult to know which way the jury would vote.
Do you mind? We're doing a live broadcast here.
Honestly, they behave like animals.
Time for that useful dramatic device, I think, and freeze. Fabletown had decided, and so the story ends. Perhaps it was just a fairy tale, but maybe there was some truth hidden amongst the arguments, jokes and songs. What do you think?
Huh? Well, I think the water trough and pump work. We should have a stone wishing well and pick roses.
I think it's time we defrosted the cast.